I'm currently making an IO game with real multiplayer where you move along a circle and have to try to catch other players with your jump. In the last devlog I said that in this devlog we're gonna upgrade the graphics. Well, I actually started again with more work on the networking code, like every devlog so far. The problem this time was when I tested my game in a web browser, it didn't work. Now this is kinda obvious when you look at what I'm using for network transport. In the first episode I chose telepathy as my network backend solution, which uses TCP sockets directly. But those are obviously not available in the heavily restricted sandbox of a browser. So I had to look for another transport solution that works on the web. Currently for such real-time applications there are two main ways to do this. There are WebSockets and WebRTC. WebSockets have been around for some time now and therefore are quite well supported on all major browsers. WebSockets allow bidirectional communication and are based on TCP, so its message delivery is reliable. On the other hand, there's WebRTC. This technology is newer, although already supported on all major browsers. Only some older browsers are not supported. It allows bidirectional communication but also can send messages reliably and unreliably. Now because WebRTC is so new, few people are using it and the best practices are not yet established. Also, to take advantage of WebRTC's unreliable network transport, it uses UDP, which can have problems with firewall and NAT. For this then you can use the stun method or a turn server, but they can still fail and will require a fallback to TCP. Therefore, because all of these problems WebRTC can have, I chose WebSockets. I found the web transport library through Mirror, so I decided on that one. Now with the library chosen, it's time to implement it. First in my code I abstracted the network backend away from the other communications code, mainly the packet serialization and deserialization code. This is for potential future network backend switches and for running multiple backends at the same time. Now with this abstracted array, I added network transport as a transport option and tested it in a web browser. With a custom WebGL template, it already feels like a real IO game. Now with all of these improvements and actually getting it to work in a real web browser, let's get to the things that I originally wanted to do. Upgrade the graphics. Currently the game looks really bland and an upgrade I think is really necessary. Also many effects are missing. In particular I want to do these four things. Moving wobbly background, an effect for jumping to a new position, a death animation and a bounce animation. So let's get started with the first thing, the wobbly background. For this I used shader graph, but because I don't really have any experience with it, I got some really interesting results while working on it. But after some time I created something I'm quite happy with. It's just a small wobble of the background, nothing too crazy, but I think it looks quite nice. The second thing I did was the bounce effect. For this I just used Unity's particle system to create a small explosion effect. Now for the jump and death effect, I basically just copied the bounce effect and tweaked it a little. This is the result here. I think it also looks quite nice. The death effect is a small implosion of the player with the circle around him just dissolving. So I think it looks quite nice. While it was added, I also updated the game over UI and added some UI animations here and there. I think they look really good and it's starting to feel like a real polished game. Now this is all that I have planned for this devlog. In the next devlog I want to tackle something that has been bugging me for quite some time now. Making more intelligent bots. Making bots that are at least decent at the game is very important because when you are the only player connected, you don't want an empty playfield with nobody to compete against. So the bots must fill the rooms where no real players are available. They should be quite smart, but also with the options to make them dumber so real players at every skill level can have fun. How I'm actually gonna do this I'm not quite sure yet, but I'm currently envisioning using Unity's machine learning tools to train the bots. I think this will be very interesting, so subscribe so you won't miss it. Otherwise, here are some other videos you might enjoy. That's it from me, thanks for watching.